Hey, welcome to another episode of How to Watch a Movie as a Christian. My name's Riley.
I'm PJ.
And I'm Ben.
How to watch The Office as a Christian. Now, we've been criticized. This is not a movie, is it?
No, it's a show.
But here we are saying how to watch a movie.
Yeah, but how to watch a movie or a show.
Or a show or whatever you're watching.
Watch something.
Whatever.
PJ had the idea. How to watch your nephew as a Christian.
That's actually a really great idea.
Just don't let him live in sin.
Now, when it comes to The Office, PJ and I feel that we need to really defer to Ben on this one. You want to trade places?
Sure.
All right.
Whoa. What's it like over here?
Because how many times have
wow.
you watched through The Office?
I don't know. I honestly don't even want to say, even if I did know.
2?
2 times? More than that.
Because I've watched through it twice.
Okay.
How about 4
I
times?
would say I'm on maybe my 4th watch.
You are? Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But this is, what the show started in 2005,
Yeah,
2006, and I've been watching it since then.
You really
Okay.
just crank your head all the time sitting here, huh?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
How
no,
many-
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't keep track. It's the show.
It's on repeat at your house.
Not really that either. It has been for a time. So here's just to let you in on my family, I guess. The 2 shows that we'll kind of just watch an episode or whatever, comfort shows, me and my wife. It's either The Office or Parks and Rec. And we'll go from one to the other.
Now, let's start by asking, what is your favorite scene? Like, just what is a scene that is so funny?
So my favorite opening, which is I think my favorite scene, me and Hannah laugh so hard every single time. It's Kevin when he's talking about his family chili recipe. And he takes the bowl of chili up the stairs and he's like, I think it's the thing I do best. And then he spills it all over the ground and he has a clipboard and he's like picking it up. Dude. That gets me.
So funny.
That gets me good.
That's funny.
How about
It's
you, PJ?
funny.
I always love just the chaotic energy of when it's the stress relief episode and Dwight is in the little entryway with a match and he goes, and a cigarette says, today smoking's going to save lives.
Yeah.
And he lights the cigarette,
It's classic.
puffs one and throws it in the trash and it catches fire and then the fire
Everyone's
alarm goes
screaming.
off and everyone's screaming, trying to get out of the building and it's just chaotic. So much so it
Oscars
gives,
up in the ceiling.
yeah. Safe man. The cat goes through the, and then that gives Stanley a heart attack. And then Michael tries to resuscitate him, and then sticks his wallet in his mouth, and I think he says like time of death or whatever. He considers him dead or something like that. I think I don't remember, but it was just
That
so
might be a
funny.
super fan, actually.
Maybe it is. Yeah.
Scene.
I think I don't. This isn't a scene, but it definitely makes me laugh without fail. Is thinking about the house party,
Dinner party.
dinner party
That
episode.
episode is perfect.
It's perfect, but the part that cracks me up is when he's describing his flat screen
Oh
TV.
my word. Yeah.
It goes right into the wall. It goes in like an inch.
Dude, the deleted scenes on those 2, that episode is so
Yeah.
perfect. There he says the line, put when you want to stand back and push it right into the wall. And then they start cracking up and they're like, we'll never finish this episode.
Oh, and the deleted
Yeah.
bloopers.
The bloops.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, that
amazing.
I would say Britt and I have watched through it twice. You know, when it comes to watching shows, there's, this one is top 10, like, return to.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it so easy to not just like flip on an episode, but watch through the whole series? What is it doing that
That's
is
a
so
great
good?
question. Because it is on one hand just amazing. It's funny, so funny, but it's also so rewatchable. There's something
Yeah.
to that. I don't know. I'd
It's
have to turn
very
to you.
comforting. It's like, well, the whole show, Greg Daniels, the creator, he wanted to base it around the thought that there is beauty in the ordinary things. I think Pam even says that in the very last line of the last episode. And whenever I watch it, I do think of that in mind. And it's true. It's just like, it's such an ordinary show with people who are relatable, flawed humans just like us. And it's just very relatable. It's like so many things that they do or have done or say or whatever are things that maybe we wouldn't say, but things that we have thought or, you know, scenarios that we can relate to. It's just, it feels like home. It feels like a family. I don't know.
Yeah, there's this sick, like, it is part of my family because of how much I've watched it.
Yeah, the time spent.
I think I have 2 questions then about watching The Office.
Okay,
as
I have
Christian.
a question before.
Okay.
Because it's still a little surface level and I really want to know. I'm assuming you both have taken the BuzzFeed quiz on which Office character you are.
No, I haven't.
I don't know if I have.
Okay, you guys need to, and I need to share my
Do you have your
results.
computer?
Takes a little bit.
Does it?
It's-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it might take too long.
My computer.
So my result was Pam. I don't know if it's like artistic and I don't know, support role person. But Hannah, shout out Hannah, my beautiful wife, got Kevin. and I think that's the best thing ever.
I think that this show does something. Maybe this is what makes it so rewatchable. Is with an ensemble cast, you can do something. You can actually make the show feel complex and layered by breaking up complexity into a few dozen characters. So Angela is the religious prude, but then you add a little bit of complexity. She's sleeping with the senator or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Kevin, he's the dumb guy, but he's also like, what'd you get?
You got straight up Jim.
I'm Jim.
Jim
Oh,
Halpert.
hey, nice.
What does it say about you? Read it out.
You enjoy joking around and pushing people's buttons. True. But that doesn't mean that you're not serious about your goals. True. Though you tend to want to escape your problems, you always end up pushing through and are happier for it in the end.
Well, they nailed it.
Wow. I'm such a Jim.
Crazy. Do it.
Here,
do the look.
Let me do it.
We got to look from off camera.
Okay, while I'm taking this test, I want to ask my first question,
Okay.
which is, let's talk about one of the main frameworks in The Office, just kind of to help people watch it. The Office does something that a lot of stories do, which is it gives you what's called the everyman. Who's the everyman character?
Jim.
Jim. He is the window of the audience. So when Michael's being a buffoon, he looks at the camera and goes, right? And he's famous for that now, but that's actually a very common plot device in a lot of stories, is that in a movie or in a story where there's a lot of kookiness, whether it's evil or craziness or insanity or complexity or conflict, you give the audience an everyman character who is looking at it and going, this is crazy.
An anchor to keep it grounded.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's even cooler than Triceratops? Every other dinosaur that ever existed.
Didn't see that one coming.
An example of this is in The Godfather, which is a story about a crime family. You have Kay, and that's Michael Corleone's soon-to-be wife. And she's constantly asking, Michael, why would you do this? This isn't right. You know, senators, powerful men don't have men killed. Your dad's an evil man. Like she's voicing what a normal person would say. And then it gives the other characters a chance to react to that and go, no, it's fine because whatever. And so like Jim is always kind of representing us, which then allows the other characters to bounce off of that and be themselves, and it makes it hilarious. So any thoughts on that?
That's your question?
That's my question.
Statement. What do you think?
So
What do you
how do you
think?
feel about
That's
that?
yeah. I mean, it's true. That's probably adds to the watchability of it, the rewatchability. Yeah, because I think probably until nearing the end of the show, Jim, is probably everyone's favorite character because they relate to him. But then people really started hating him nearing the end with all the drama with the sports whatever and Pam and the marriage thing, which was a bummer that they did that.
I've always said that Michael is the main character. I think that he goes through the most growth in his arc. And then once he leaves, the show does kind of fall apart. So it does back that up, I believe. So it did almost feel like they were just trying to shake things up. And I don't think it worked. It didn't hit. I still will watch those seasons and still enjoy them because ultimately it is still well written. But it is kind of a bummer at the end there.
You know, something you should know, Riley, while you're doing that.
Okay.
I've rewatched this show a lot, but I don't rewatch past Michael leaving.
Really? What season is that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
8?
8? Yeah,
7 or
something
8.
like that.
We usually stop.
They're 10
I
seasons.
might watch the last episode because I actually really enjoy it.
I do love the last episode.
When Michael has 2 cell phone plans just to hold all the pictures of his kids. All right. Well, do you have any more questions for us?
Questions/statements?
Yeah. Do you have any more thoughts?
I think
that we can-
here is an actual question.
'Kay.
About how to watch a movie, how to watch The Office as a Christian. I saw Jerry Seinfeld live one time.
Cool.
And he did a Q&A
so
afterwards.
cool for you.
And people had to walk
That
up
is
to
actually
the
cool.
mic to ask him a question. And there was this point where a kid, like a 10-year-old kid, walked up to the mic and asked him a question about Seinfeld. Like, what was your favorite moment about filming Seinfeld? It's my favorite show. And Jerry Seinfeld was like, why are you watching Seinfeld? That show is way inappropriate for you as a 10-year-old kid. And it was kind of funny kind of hearing that. He kind of made a bit out of it. But I guess the question is, when it comes to watching TV shows, one of the most common things I hear about The Office nowadays is, could this show get made today?
That's true. You hear that so often.
Why
People
are
talk about
people
it.
saying that?
Well, there's the first few episodes. The what's the title? Diversity
Diversity Day.
Yeah, very controversial.
Yeah, I mean Michael and Dwight are just so, they just say things that it's true. You can't really. When we say can it be made today? Oh my goodness! What?
I got Oscar Martinez.
Wait, why?
It says, you're very intelligent and quick to correct others when they're wrong.
Whoa.
You also have sophisticated tastes and enjoy discussing literature and other fine things.
That's
Not wrong.
That's true-ish. That's a part of you.
That's a part
I'm
of
sure
me.
a second would have been Michael or even Creed. Just for some reason.
Yes,
for
I
some
could
reason.
see Creed. Dang it. That's the one I should have
Should have aimed for.
Oh, man. Should have picked for.
Yeah. Okay, but
it
so we're
is-
saying it's there's things that they're saying that shows don't say now. They
Like
don't make
what?
those jokes
Like
think-
what?
about different races the way they do, even about Oscar and homosexuality. These jokes aren't made in the same way.
They're made at the expense of said race, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. It's not
In
like
The Office they
yeah.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, after season 1, they did almost get canceled. It wasn't until Steve Carell, I believe, did 40-year-old Virgin.
40-year-old version of The Office.
Steve Carell did the 40-year-old Virgin, and then season 2 sort of got picked up with the success of that. So without that movie, they think that The Office wouldn't have continued because it was so dry and crass, which is really interesting.
Yeah, because
And cancel culture wasn't the same then that it is
No.
now.
I think that's my question is, not only would this show get made, but like as a Christian, you're dealing with something very crass. The jokes are so hilarious, but they're sometimes so inappropriate. A lot of them are jokes we wouldn't make ourselves in mixed company, but we probably would in this company. But it is sort of
we so
I'm
wouldn't.
indicting myself. But
Riley.
I guess I just think like when it comes to this show, one of the main things with Christians is that it's inappropriate.
Is it inappropriate? Equals what I show it to my 5-year-old? Yeah, it's inappropriate. I wouldn't show it to my 5-year-old.
I mean, I think this show really does showcase human nature pretty well.
Yeah.
In all facets. And human nature can tend to be pretty inappropriate.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I remember someone saying to me like, "Oh yeah, the film industry or Hollywood or something." They were making a comment about how depraved that industry is, and I said, I have not heard more inappropriateness, more racism, more sexism, more just heinous things said than when I worked at Microsoft. That's a heinous place. And my point was like, that's life, you know. You kind of go into any industry in that. And I feel like The Office, yeah, it's like there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't show my kids yet. But, when they're older, they are poking fun at things that are funny.
Yeah.
And that it's inappropriate, but I feel like that's sort of the point of jokes sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so safely, like, they're doing it in jest. No one's questioning their motives. You don't watch the show and think, wow, I can't believe they did that. You're like, they're joking, and that's funny. And we were talking earlier, and it brings up the topic of, if it's funny, it's funny, right?
But I do think that The Office points to, like, every single joke it's not just punchlines. It's kind of human funny. Mm-hmm. It's human funny. It's how you relate to different, how men relate to women, how women relate to men, how minorities relate to the majority culture, how bosses relate to subordinates. It's very, like, all the humor is based in characters and in relationships. And so they're all kind of saying something that we all kind of go. That's why so often you're like, it's like that Office episode when,
Yeah.
Yeah, because the show itself is, in my opinion, in terms of comedy, the best written comedy TV show ever. I really think that.
You heard it here.
The characters are well fleshed out. Even the role characters or side characters, where they all have their thing. Everyone knows who everyone is. And then The Office is just taking these characters or personalities and putting them in different scenarios. And that is just so interesting to watch. This personality interact with this personality in this scenario. What does that look like? And then, they just sort of mix and match in that way a lot.
I think we make too much, as Christians, we make too much about, like, what the Bible calls coarse jesting or perverse talk. In my opinion, what it's talking about is putting people down. It's undermining authority. It's destroying reputations. It's being cruel and inhumane. That's what it's talking about. Mm-hmm. Potty humor is not, in my opinion, what the Bible means. Because potty humor doesn't destroy people's lives. Do you see what I mean?
So what's the reaction to it? I mean, not to get to the big question early, but what is the approach for you, at least, in coming to something like The Office?
At the end of the day, the goal of the show is not to destroy people or hurt people, but actually to make light of all of the craziness that is this life. And I think that the best comedies do that, which is probably why this show has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
The Office, because of The Office, it made me want to become a television writer.
Really?
Specifically comedy.
Whoa, crazy.
I even moved to Chicago to do that.
Wow.
Because I just wanted to. Because of The Office. It was literally life-changing.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy
That's
to
amazing.
say and think about.
That's awesome. That's how we're watching The Office as a Christian. We are Pacific Parable, and we will see you at church.
What's that one? What's that? Is that our song? Oh.